Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Coming up on Grady Newsource, a live report on the latest developments since last week's school shooting at Appalachia High School. We'll also tell you how Georgia could possibly get mentioned in tomorrow's presidential debate. And finally, we'll introduce you to a kindergartner who's taking matters into his own hands to raise money for charity.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Savannah Hernandez. We begin tonight with the tragic school shooting that took place at a local high school last Wednesday. Grady Newsource reporter Riley Kehoe is live on the scene at Appalachia High School with the latest. Riley.
I'm standing here in front of Appalachia High School. You can see behind me the memorial that has been built by the community. People are bringing balloons, flowers, things like that. And some posters read that heroes work here, that they are deeply missed. And this is where people have been coming to grieve and remember the 2 teachers and 2 students that died, as well as the 9 people that were injured. The 14-year-old suspect is facing 4 counts of felony murder charges and will be tried as an adult. The father of the suspect also faces charges of manslaughter and second-degree murder. And involuntary manslaughter. This is the second time a parent involved with a alleged child school shooter has been held accountable for their child's actions. People in the community have many questions as they continue to grieve, and Barrow County has set up a recovery center to help these individuals provide financial aid, legal, and mental health services. This center will be open from noon until 5, Monday through Friday. Grady Newsource will bring you the latest information on this developing story. Riley Kehoe, Grady Newsource.
During last week's school shooting at Appalachia High School, many Northeast Georgia police officers were called to the scene, including those of Oconee County. But even before this tragedy, Oconee County Police had measures in place to keep students safe with law enforcement close by at all times.
Generally, never a time during a school day that there's not a deputy within like 30 seconds to a minute away from that school campus. So they do call in those security checks, through the radio system, so that way we have a CAD log of how often we're close to the schools and when they're there.
Grady Newsource reporter Nigel Whittington will tell us how these measures led to 2 arrests at Oconee County Middle School on Wednesday.
If passed on September 20th, proposed revisions to SEB Rule 183-1-12.12 would require 3 precinct poll officers to count the total number of ballots and sort them into stacks of 50 until all of the ballots have been counted separately.
The board's last meeting was received with controversy after passing amendments to the certification process. But here in Jackson County, the reaction to asking poll officials to hand count ballots is bipartisan.
I just don't feel like we have the manpower and take a long time to hand count votes. I remember growing up here hand counting votes even back before we had a booming population.
Go find a ream of 100 pieces of paper, tell somebody to take out 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and see if you can actually come up with the right number 5 times in a row between 5 different people. You're going to have all kinds of wild little bits here and there because that's how humans work.
Director Jennifer Logan tries to staff at least 20 to 30 poll officials at each of the 4 voting locations. With a decision coming soon, last-minute changes might be made.
We are in the midst of everything moving forward as it is, and then to make changes at this time is very difficult.
For anyone interested in becoming a poll official, working with the Jackson County Elections Office, or even volunteering, you can use their website for more information or pick up one of these pamphlets just down the hall. For Grady Newsource, I'm Tori Newman.
Tomorrow, all schools in Barrow County except for Appalachia High School will open up for the first time since last week's shooting. In other local districts, the Oconee County Board of Education is holding a public work session tonight at 6 p.m. in the Instructional Support Center. The board will review information to be voted on in their next open meeting September 16th. And just 4 days later, a review by the Georgia State Election Board could change the workflow for the poll officials in Georgia. Poll officials at the Jackson County Elections Office have been undergoing a specific Oconee, okay, well, it's gone. I don't know where we're at. Oconee County has long been a Republican stronghold where rural charm and conservative beliefs shape the community's identity. As new developments rise in demographic shift, Grady Newsource reporter Ethan Wright tells us how one Board of Commissioners candidate is challenging the status quo.
Sometimes change can be so polarizing that people aren't quite sure how to react.
We like rural, we like small towns.
Susanna Heimel and Oconee County residents are beginning to brace for a shift taking place all across the country.
Spending is out of control. Oh my goodness, rezoning and growth is out of control.
Heimel is making some adjustments of her own. In early March of this year, she set out for a position on the Board of Commissioners. But this time, she isn't running as a Republican, despite identifying as one for most of her life.
I don't really feel like a Republican, and I haven't felt like one for a long time.
In a county that has voted red for decades, Heimel believes it's time that people start paying more attention to what's happening around them.
Part of the challenge in running as a Democrat is, especially in this county, we don't vote for Democrats. Well, look what you're voting for. You're voting for Republicans, and they're doing everything that Democrats do.
Change looks to be inevitable in Oconee County, with political scientists like Charles Bullock hinting at possible shifts in partisanship.
As a suburban county, it has that potential to bring in or to have some Democrats begin to move in. And places like Cobb and Gwinnett, very, very Republican. Well, now they are pretty heavily Democratic and becoming more so with every passing year.
Bullock says change won't happen overnight, but as more young families begin to move in and apartment complexes sprout up, the county that residents once knew will slowly but surely start to look a little bit different. From Oconee County, Ethan Wright, Grady Newsource.
On the national political scene, two presidential candidates, Kamala Harris and Republican Donald Trump, will take the stage tomorrow night in Philadelphia. This will be the first and potentially last time the two will meet to debate before the November election. Grady Newsource reporter Elizabeth Hunter is live in the newsroom for a bit of analysis. Elizabeth, how will the debate impact Georgia?
Well, Savannah, the stakes are high for both candidates, but especially for Kamala Harris. After the last debate, President Joe Biden decided to withdraw from the race. So this will be Harris's first debate as a presidential candidate. Trump, however, has seen his fair share of debates after running in 2016, 2020, and now in 2024. The polls are split pretty evenly right now, with 47% preferring Harris and 46% supporting Trump. I talked with political expert Dr. Charles Bullock, who told me that this debate is going to be very important to independent voters.
Profile job, and so the fact that she's been in that position for 4 years, you have a lot. For many voters, there'll be a lot to learn about her. You know, how does she present herself? What's she like? You know, what are her positions on some issues? So she has a lot of space in which she could make some headway, or things went bad.
Dr. Bullock also says he expects Georgia to be a hot topic in tomorrow night's debate because of the shooting that happened last week at Appalachia High School and the murder of Laken Riley that happened earlier this year. I will continue to follow this closely and bring you all the updates on Wednesday. Savannah.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Coming up after the break, we hear about an organization in Jackson County fighting the opioid crisis.
Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Now we go to Jackson County, where an organization just got a funding boost for the fight against opioids. Grady Newsource reporter Colin Miller has more on the organization and their mission.
Advantage Behavioral Health in Jefferson is now looking to unify their fight against opioids with new funding. In a recent meeting, the Jackson County Commission allocated $150,000 for an opioid treatment program. Opioids are an existing problem in Jackson. Sheriff Janice Mangum has seen that firsthand.
You know, people get some type of injury and they get some pain medication, and then they're in severe pain, and a lot of good people just get addicted to those opiates and have to have it, and then it just gets bad.
However, the fight against opioids is gaining traction. Last year in the U.S., opioid-related deaths decreased for the first time since 2018. Advantage Behavioral is looking to continue that fight head-on with their new funding.
There's a lot of resources in general in Jackson, but they're kind of siloed. And my goal with this is to do a lot of community education, community forums, talk sessions, really bringing people together that have these resources.
So, as the struggle against opioids continues, Advantage won't quit the fight. Colin Miller, Grady Newsource.
Before they've even been built, a gas station and storage facility in Jackson County are already causing controversy. Grady Newsource reporter Melanie Levy has the latest.
Jackson County residents are furious at a new development that might make its way into their backyards. Maddox Road and Brazelton Highway homeowners.
A year-long investigation in Barrow County has come to an end with the arrest of 6 adults on multiple counts of child molestation. 4 children between the ages of 3 and 12, all related, were abused for the past 5 years. The children are now in foster care and receiving therapy. Oconee County residents now have a new way to report issues directly to county officials. It's as simple as using an app on your phone. Grady Newsource reporter Juliana Russ spoke to Communications Director Diane Baggett, who says the new See, Click, Fix app will help county services be more responsive than ever.
It is a platform that a lot of other local governments have already used, so we knew it was a really robust solution. And it also provides a way for us to talk back and forth with our residents.
See, Click, Fix is available as an app or on web browser, but the steps are the same across platforms. Click New Request and scroll to the appropriate problem. From there, select where it is on the map and include a few details, including a potential photo, to help county responders. You even have the option to submit anonymously if you'd like. Then, all you have to do is make an account and click Submit.
We like to be able to respond to that initial contact within 1 business day. And so you have that near instant feedback on when it's going to be handled.
Coming up after the break, Newsource reporter Sydney Rainwater has this week's forecast.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sydney Rainwater. I'm here with our weather forecast. I'm so excited to be here with you guys for our very first Grady Newsource broadcast this semester. So let's go ahead and get into the weather. Today was super, super sunny with a high of 85, and it's looking like tomorrow is going to be about the same, high of 88. We're getting some rain later on in the week, though. Rain throughout Thursday night, and then thunderstorms all day Friday. We've got highs in the 70s there, but look, we've got lows in the 60s throughout the week, which is so great after such a hot, just scorching summer. But with these cooling temps comes some fall illness. So what can we do to help prevent that? We've got the clip for you.
The weather's still nice and warm in northeast Georgia, but it's a good idea to get ahead when it comes to preparing for fall sicknesses. Flu, colds, strep throat, RSV, and COVID-19 are all illnesses to be wary of this fall. We're in week 37 of the year, and flu cases typically start to go up around week 45, which will start on November 4th. The CDC recommends people stay diligent about everyday preventative actions such as washing your hands often, covering your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze, cleaning frequently touched surfaces like countertops, doorknobs, cell phones often, and limiting contact with others if you are sick. These actions seem small, but can make a big difference in staying healthy through the season.
We want to make sure we're all staying safe and healthy this fall, especially for all the tailgates coming up. After the break, Grady Newsource reporter Faith James will talk about where Georgia ranks on the AP Top 25 poll, along with other SEC schools, and we'll dissect the Atlanta Falcons Sunday game.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, that's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here,
but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Hello, I'm Faith James here with your sports report. Report came out yesterday that Georgia was ranked #1 on the AP Top 25 poll. Texas took the second spot after defeating Michigan, receiving 4 first-place votes. Ohio State came in third, followed by Alabama in fourth. Tennessee made the biggest climb up the poll, moving from number 14 to number 7, and Notre Dame made the biggest fall, falling from number 5 spot to number 18. Georgia received 54 out of a possible 63 votes to keep the first place ranking. Along with Georgia ranking #1, the SEC has 6 of the first 7 spots in the poll. For the first time, this has happened in 88 years of the rankings. This is also the first time any league has held this many spots in the top 25 poll. The SEC holds 8 spots. The Big Ten follows up with 16 teams in the poll, the Big 12 with 5, and the ACC with 4. Of the top 6 SEC schools ranked on this poll, Georgia will be up against 4 of those SEC teams this season. Speaking of Georgia football, the Bulldogs went up against the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles at Sanford Stadium this past Saturday. Georgia had a great start coming into the game with back-to-back scoring drives. Georgia's first drive was 6 seconds long, with Carson Beck finding Dylan Bell in the left corner of the end zone. The Bulldogs also had a 23-second drive in the third quarter. Tennessee Tech struggled to add any points to the board during the game, but player Hayden Olsen added a 32-yard field goal at the end of the fourth quarter. Georgia defeated Tennessee Tech 48-3. The Atlanta Falcons had a different outcome than Georgia. The Falcons went up against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The Falcons and Steelers were tied up after the first quarter, and the Falcons took the lead in the second quarter, scoring the only game's touchdown. The Falcons' defense struggled, allowing the Steelers to capitalize on those mistakes. The Steelers held the lead in the second half and defeated the Falcons 18-10. That's all for your sports today. Back to you, Savannah.
Thanks, Faith. When we come back, we'll show you one kindergartner whose small lemonade stand gave to a much bigger cause.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna. Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
The millage rate in Oconee County is less than last year's, hitting about $14. But residents are asking why their property taxes are going up by $63. Residents are also concerned because school enrollment is going down, but the budget continues to increase. Oconee says the budget went up because of the pay raises by the state, increased salary steps, and 19 new school positions. And now to a story that will inspire many people. Grady Newsource reporter Ryan Lynch shows us how one student's brownie and lemonade stand was the beginning of many meals for his fellow classmates.
Meet Jameson, a kindergarten student who held a lemonade and brownie stand at a 4th of July party this summer. He raised $175 and donated it to the West Jackson Elementary School Angel Fund, which helps to pay off school lunch debt. Each year, there is a $90 million school meal debt in the state of Georgia, meaning thousands of children in the state are unable to pay for the food they receive at school.
We probably ended last year with about $5,000 in the account that needed to be paid.
We asked him what he wanted to do, and he said, well, I want to give it away, but then he was like, well, actually, I'd like to ask for money because I'd like to feed the children. And so we had to further explore what that meant.
I sell lemonade and brownies. I give it to everybody who affords lunch money.
Us starting already at this stand with $175 that's already paying off lunches makes a big deal. So when student lunches are about $2, you can kind of do that math to see that he's helped several students.
However, Jameson doesn't plan on stopping with the lemonade and brownie stand.
I'm going to do a pineapple stand. I'm going to sell my toys from the garage show. I'm going to give it to the children again.
For Grady Newsource, I'm Ryan Lynch.
What a heartwarming story. Thank you for joining us for Grady Newsource. I'm Savannah Hernandez, and have a good night.
Saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
You and your peeps, I'll ask you to share something. Yeah.
And Keisha, I'll ask you to share about digital also, and Christian, you know, your thoughts. I'll just kind of do just a little bit and hand it over to you guys. You as viewers, how does it felt to you? The lives, everything. Just share with the viewers how that felt this day. Really proud of you. Mel, something was, I don't know how you... Good. No, don't. I just wanted to apologize. We had to jump out of your package because couldn't understand anything, yeah. So, just want to let you know what happened, yeah. As long as you figured it out, I was going to ask if you need some help figuring it out also. Really? Yeah. Very well done. There were a lot of curveballs. I'll talk. You did very good. You did the right thing. Just one thing for everybody's sake, I'll say, but yeah. But I'm saving it for the live. Are we ready? So we are live on air. Guys, we are live on air on a historic day. I have taught Newsource for 5 years. I have never had any group of people go live without at least one mock show. Today we were supposed to have a mock show. I gave you the option because of the tragedy in Barrow County, the school shooting. I gave you the option to go live, and you took it. And look at what you did. It was, yes, we had a few glitches, but I cannot tell you how proud I am of you, all of you. And as I said, history was made today. And I just can't wait to see what you will achieve as we get doing live for real, you know, on Wednesday, where we don't have a lot of packages that you've already worked on. But I'm really, really proud of you. We had a lot of curveballs for our anchor. She handled them very well. There's just one thing, never show and say, kind of show that we don't know what we're doing. Rather, you could apologize, or like what you did, you know, find your way. You had all your scripts organized, so you quickly found your way. There was one thing that our indomitable producer did not do initially, and then I explained to him what he didn't do when he didn't tell you that you needed to read the Oconee script, and you did what a professional anchor does. When you see the wrong script in the prompter, you find it in your papers and you read what you thought was the right script. So you did the right thing because you didn't know why the prompter was in the wrong place. However, you showed a little frustration. That's my only thing, and I say it, we're learning at your expense. That's the only thing that I would say. Also, don't smile. I tend to smile. Everybody tends to smile a little when they're nervous. Trust me, I've done it. So you smiled a little bit off the top when you were tossing to Riley. That is okay. You didn't thank her also when she tossed back to you. That is okay. For your first time anchoring, you did a great job. You were very solid. You did the right thing because you didn't know that you were supposed to read that other script. And so you found it and you read it. Just don't show that we don't know, that there's confusion. Just try to apologize, look at your scripts, and try to make it as smooth as possible. You can be genuine, and you can, let the viewers know that, it depends on how things go. But try to not to show that frustration as much as you can, even though it was a very difficult situation. Then he learned immediately, really impressive producer also. First time producing, he says he doesn't like producing, but he's got a producer's mind. I was telling him, he got it, and then I think he gave you more clear instructions from then on. So really, really proud of the way you guys, the two of you, handled all these curveballs, and really good presentation, very personable, both Faith doing the sports and Sydney doing the weather. That was very, very genuine, the way you just told people, you know, that this is the first one, and I think that kind of made you calmer, and you were just having fun, and we could tell that you were really enjoying that forecast, and we got into it together with you. So, and all of you, really, really wonderful, very personable on camera, very credible, all of you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for a great ad-lib live. That was not easy, you standing here. You did an excellent job. That was very interesting, the preview. And I look forward to your post-view after the debate tomorrow. Very well done. We have so much talent. The packages were very good. As I wrote to all of you, of course I had something to say because you would otherwise be wasting your time with me. So, but very well done. Lots of talent, and I really want to say kudos to our technical staff. They were also impressive. They were ready for a mock show. They have a lot of volunteers who've never done this in their life. And look at what they pulled off. Look at what they pulled off. And so without further ado, please take the mic, Timmy, our senior production manager, and the three of you, tell us how that felt, and if there's anything that we need to know moving forward to make your lives easier also.
Everything that you guys could have done to make my life easier, you did. All the packages were in super duper early, which has never happened before. I remember all the past years, it was like, some of them would get submitted after the show even started. So the fact that you guys had them in like 5 hours early and 30 minutes early is just like, thank you. Keep doing that because that'll just make a super smooth show. Sydney, Faith, Savannah, you guys were amazing.
Amazing,
Amazing.
yes.
The timing, perfect, and that is also the floor director. You guys did amazing. It's their first time volunteering, so.
Congratulations.
But this was a super duper smooth show, and I'm excited because if this is the mock show and it was this good, I just can't wait to see what next week's show or even the later ones in the semester will
Well,
look
Timmy,
like.
I have to admit to you that the packages were in early because they were ready on Friday.
Yeah. Well, it'll be the same way on Wednesday too. They'll be in super duper early. So.
Yeah, but now you get a sense of, you know, how can you get that script to me by 2 p.m. and then I do first come, first serve, and I give priority to live shots. I will look at a live script before I look at a package. So you see how much work I have to do there. So keep them, if you finish your script early, send it to me so that I can get it edited and move on to something else so that we can keep things going and you don't have to wait for me to approve your script. Make sure that they're hyperlinked, that I have all the information to quickly check them. And we're going to do great, and we will strive for that deadline. We have to, because otherwise things happen on live air. So
that was really good. Impressed.
Yes, really impressive. I'm really, really happy and proud of each and every one of you, and especially you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping
that is,
we can build a returning volunteer guys. So you guys are here every Monday and Wednesday and Tuesday.
Yeah, you're not scared now, right? Nothing else can scare you.
But yeah, and also good job, Christian, because I feel like it's
Yes.
very easy to lose like your cool in the newsroom. I feel like this side gets super stressful, and you were very, very composed and answered all my questions. You were cool. So
And
that's a good
I mean,
tip
he's
for
a quick
producing.
learner. Once, you know, I told him you didn't tell her that, you know, that she needed to read that script. He was on it. He realized what he was supposed to do. And so he's, you know, if you ever want to work as a producer, you can do it. And it's always good to have an addition. Yeah. And you thought very creatively, you know, to go and you were able to get a little bit of almost everybody's piece in, as a VO, as a reader, as a package. Very, very nicely done. I want to hear from my producers, both Christian and Keisha too, who had some great ideas for us early on with the digital trends. She let us know what was trending, so you guys take it away. Digital first. Digital first.
So for digital producing, I feel like for our first show, this was pretty good. Like, I will say that the communication for most people was amazing. Like, even if you're not ready, just like always slack the digital producer, like, hey, I'm not ready at this time, but give me 30 minutes. I feel like if we have that open communication, then I know, instead of me always like reaching out to people. But other than that, a lot of people were very responsive, so that was amazing. I know it was a little hard to get the MMJs in at noon just because our meeting went a little bit over, and I know people had interviews and such, so I think that's probably why. But other than that, did you want to have anything to say?
No, I think I agree with Keisha. Everybody did a really good job communicating. The only thing I would change going forward is maybe like we all left for lunch at some point today, especially with us. We're trying to get content up like every 30 minutes, every hour. If you're like somebody we're talking to, just let us know where you're going. That was the only thing. But overall, I think you guys were able to get stuff up today because you guys were responsive and worked with us instead of against us. So thanks.
Also, for the digital producer, like, we want to promote your stories. So I know most, like, obviously, like, for the broadcast, like, obviously most people want their stuff on the broadcast, but digital gets more engagement and stuff. So, like, I would say, like, just be open to posting on digital. I think we're fine with that, but I know some people just only wanted to do broadcast, but that was, like, probably the only thing. But
well, I just want to thank God first and foremost, because I had no clue what I was doing, and He played a big role in our success today. I was really faking it completely whenever y'all were asking me questions, like that fake it till you make it saying 100%. I had no clue what I was doing, but we figured it all out. Thank y'all, everyone. Everyone was very helpful. Yeah, everyone wrote good leads that helped me out. People were helping me out with readers and whatnot, so that was a big help too. And yeah, I mean, y'all did a great job. It's really because of y'all that I didn't mess up too bad. So
that's very modest. Yeah. So why don't we hear from Savannah? Would you like to tell us about handling all these curveballs? There were quite a few for you there.
Okay. I would just say make sure you have your script because the prompter goes in and out a lot. So just try to be familiar as much as possible. Try not to show it on your face when you mess up. And yeah, that's really it. But everyone did great. So
yeah, you were very solid, very personable, very well done, very well done. And I'm glad. Tell them how you organized your scripts. I like what you did. So you had them on like 3 different leads on one and the same page. Show them what you did. I think that'll help everybody else. As opposed to
each page was a block, and I would put like a line in Google Docs at the end of the block, so I knew like that's a chunk. But I highlighted like in one color a block, and then whenever I had a break, like going live or a package or a SOT, I would highlight that in yellow. And then, yeah, I tried to separate it out.
That's
like
why she was so good at finding her way.
Page by
Otherwise,
page.
if she had to, go and look through the whole pile, imagine how awkward that would have been. But she was able to quickly find. Even when she was not supposed to read a script, she found it, and she read it.
And yeah, I put like them numbered at the top too, so if it gets out of order. But,
yeah, I highly recommend, I'm learning from her as well. I also circled my keywords and stuff, but I like this better than the way I did it. So I highly recommend doing that. Anything else you learned today you want to share with other people who will be anchoring?
Try to, I guess with Grady Daily, try to write it the night before, even though it like may change. I kind of wish I would have done that, especially because the meeting ran a little long. So I was like trying to get it out kind of around the same time, and then like obviously that didn't really happen. But you know, it would probably help you out to do your pitch, but then also maybe write a rough draft. So if it does stay pretty much the same, you at least have most of it written, and maybe even have practiced it a little bit so it doesn't take as long. So shout out Sarah for standing upstairs with me for a hot minute. But yeah, so that's another thing that'd be good.
Yeah, Sarah helped me today as well with the sports. And what we worked a little bit on, I allowed you to be more conversational and more personable, and that is part of a social media post. That is part of, I worked with several of you, making your scripts a little more conversational and simplifying them, just showing you that I was using the same information with Sarah. We also worked on, she had some great information, but there was just too much. It was good for print. So we worked on, I showed her how I used the same things, that she said, but we simplified them just to show her and give her the permission that you're not dumbing it down, you're actually writing broadcast or for social media also. The more conversational you are, just like read it out aloud and feel like you're talking to a friend, and that'll help you a lot. So that's what I would recommend for everybody, whether you're writing digital Grady or whether you're writing your readers, anything, or a social media post. That's what we should strive, so that once you graduate here, you're ready and people are fighting over you. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So how about who else wants to?
So since we were talking about helping each other, I think we all did a great job of doing that today. I mean, I wasn't like in the newsroom, but I felt like for our first show, we were all like springing a lot of ideas, different leads, and I think that's like why it helped us all know what like the order of the show was going to be, why we all kind of understood it a little bit more, because like we were all going through the same thing, and it's like we're all going to have to do that at some point. So it's just like learning and helping out your peers is like the best way for you to like continue to learn, like just by doing it. And I just want to give like a shout out for everyone to do that today, because like, we were in here basically at around 11 until it's about to be 6. So, we're just sitting in here and helping each other out, and I think that's been really fun to watch, and it's, exciting to see the rest of like the semester go, because I feel like we all work really well together already, and like listen to each other and be like, well, maybe we should do it this way, and then, move on from there and just understand that we're taking like the critiques, but like we said in the beginning, the critiques are love, not harmful things. So, yeah. Yeah,
otherwise you're wasting your time, and they're not critiques, I would call them feedback and just moving you to the next level. And you'll find most of these classes, people, by the end of it, they become best of friends. And actually, the guy who did the audio, David, he's from my last class, and he's now doing audio for us. But he can tell you, people really become close friends. They serve as each other's references. They help each other find jobs. So it's really nice. You really create new friends for life. And some of them, as you notice, they end up at the same station sometimes, working. So that's really nice. You'll have more friends after, because it's a really tough class, and people bond, helping each other out, and it's very creative, like the team effort. Like, we did a team effort right before air, the two of us. So, it's more fun to co-create stuff. I like that a lot. Wonderful. Anybody else wants to share a thought, something they learned, something we did well, or something we could do better? You have some advice?
Don't get overwhelmed. It is a lot of videos, and it's like a 51-page book, but but it's really not that bad. I really did enjoy it, other than like the password debacle. But other than that, I would say like try to read up on it as much as you can, because it does play a big part of making sure, like, maybe not the broadcast, but like promoting people's stories and stuff. And but yeah, I'll just say, like, honestly, read up on it. I'm more than happy to like give advice or pros and cons, especially Dr. Bright. She helped me a lot, and she's a great tool. Like, when she came in here, I felt like it was just so much smoother. But yeah, I'll just say read up on it.
Wonderful.
I'll look at the pitches the night before, like I did. There's only like one that wasn't on there, but other than that, I think that kind of helped me figure out what I wanted to do, even though it wasn't approved. The pitch wasn't approved yet, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
I agree. I think y'all should look at the pitches the night before because I didn't, and that was kind of screwing me up in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, definitely know your story. Because once I felt like I knew our stories, I was like, okay, I can do this now. You just gotta like, the more you know the story, the more you'll be able to create the show. So yeah, learn from my mistakes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for being so honest. I appreciate honesty always. Yeah, because everybody's learning.
I was just going to say that anchoring can be really disorienting, especially for weather, because it's mirrored. And so I kept, I'm glad you think it came off that I was like having a lot of fun.
I saw that, but the way you did it,
because I like blacked out.
Yeah, but you were kind of smiling, and we got it, that you were adjusting yourself and just.
I also just realized I think I skipped Wednesday.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
People loved you. People loved you. Yeah.
But it's really disorienting, and like you also can't hear the broadcast, so I felt very like, disconnected almost. But at the same time, it was really fun to like sit in there with you guys and have you to encourage me and to encourage you guys. So that was really fun too. So that was all I had.
Wonderful. Elizabeth, anybody?
Thirds for Grady Daily. Unless you know exactly where it is, don't bother trying to find it because there's 3 different Google Drives with probably 50 plus lower thirds. Just ask Amanda Bright if she's saying, forget it, make your own. Just do that. There you go.
Appreciate everyone hyping me up before and after. It was kind of nerve-wracking having everyone in here to listen and watch. Just feeling y'all's eyes on me was a lot. But I was gonna ask, did I do something wrong on my end by not like labeling my video right or something? Because there was like a point when I was reading my script that I thought video was supposed to be over me, and I put it in the rundown like that, but it didn't play.
What happened, Christian?
So that wasn't your fault. I didn't tell them in the beginning. They still got a little bit confused, but I didn't know it was like one of those is the VO, one's the side. I could tell that they put them.
I put take VO, so yeah.
But I would say in the future it probably will be better to put them in one.
Okay.
Because that's why they did, because like they both started with the same name, and it wasn't at the end until it said VO or side.
Yeah.
So when they asked me what the name of it was, I told them the name of it, but then they put up the side. And they're like, this, and I was like, no, that's the side. You run the VO version. So I would say in the future put it in one. But I saw what you're doing, and I said that before.
Well, it's because Kira told me to separate them. So that's why I had them in 2 separate. See, but you're saying like put like A9 VO, A9 SOT. Okay.
Oh yeah, and you put it in the beginning.
Yay!
Because at the end was why there was a little bit of confusion.
Okay.
It was like a long enough name to where you didn't see if there was a VO or a
Okay.
You just saw it.
Okay.
And I didn't tell them at the beginning.
Mhm.
But just in the face of everything, it was just like, oh, it got lost.
Okay.
I want to say thank you to everybody. I'm honestly really shocked that it went that well today, honestly. But I think advice that I have for doing sports, I'm somebody that talks really, really fast. And so I had to like shove in a lot of content to get 2 minutes in. So if you can try and talk slower, you don't have to.
Yeah, less is more. Less is more.
And also, I noticed because I was like really, really nervous, there were pauses that I needed to make in my script, and I did not make them. So maybe like put in your script that you need to pause before moving on to the next sentence. That would probably help. But
the way I do, I separate each sentence on a separate line, and that helps me pause for some reason. That's how I write my scripts. And some of your guys' scripts, I automatically do that. You bunch them up in whole paragraphs, which to me would be very hard in the prompter because it's all bunched up. But if I separate them and have, a little space in between each sentence, that helps me a lot. So for what it's worth, if you want to try that. Like every thought on a separate line instead of having it all bunched up as a paragraph. That's my workaround. So that's what I suggest. But you did great. And Riley, you are our hero. You went there. You did a live shot without having any mock show experience or anything. You did great. And you ad-libbed and you brought us the spirit of what was there. And it wasn't easy because for some reason, we couldn't play. There was some confusion about the video. The B-roll. Yeah, so you were entirely on camera. But you did great, yeah. Share with the rest of the people, your best advice, do's and don'ts.
Yeah, so I think the situation's very, it's a pretty hard situation to cover. And so when I got there, I was planning on being really close to the memorial and having the balloons and flowers really close to me, but then I realized when I got there that was just not appropriate to do at all. So you kind of just have to analyze your surroundings and figure out what's best and how to tell the story while being sensitive to the topic. Also, the note sheet I think is my enemy. I think I just need to never carry a piece of paper and just, I think I would have been better at living it all instead of having the notes in front of me, because I messed up one thing and my head just started spiraling and I was like, oh God, just get through, girl. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. It was a good experience.
Yeah, she called me and she said, Professor V, I see that all the other TV stations, their cameras are not so close to the memorial. We are thinking of also moving back. And I was just so impressed that she had the presence of mind to think about that even though nobody told her, you shouldn't be right here so close, she thought about it, to be sensitive, to be respectful. And that really impressed me. And so they moved. And you gave us a sense of the atmosphere and with the right tone. And you did great. This was not easy.
Thank you.
So don't hate it. Don't hate it.
I'll try not to.
Anybody else? We have 3 more minutes. Anybody else wants to share a thought, something they learned, something we could do differently? All right, guys. Again, this is revolutionary. I've never had a class who went live without a mock show, and I'm really proud and happy. And let's do it again for real with no packages ready on Friday, on Wednesday. I know some of you are already working on some great ideas, and now you know what to do, and you know what it takes, and we're going to do great. I just know it. Get some rest, because Wednesday is going to be a challenge, but in a good way.